The European Union is a group of 27 countries in Europe. These countries came together to make things better, easier and safer for people. They agreed to work together and help each other. How the European Union started. The idea to make the European Union came after two big wars happened in Europe. Countries in Europe saw that it is better to work together than fighting against each other. In the beginning, only 6 countries in Europe started working together: Belgium, France, Germany, Italy, Luxembourg, Netherlands. Soon, more and more countries in Europe joined them and the European Union was made. Today, 27 countries are part of the European Union. These countries are Austria, Belgium, Bulgaria, Croatia, Cyprus, Czechia, Denmark, Estonia, Finland, France, Germany, Greece, Hungary, Ireland, Italy, Latvia, Lithuania, Luxembourg, Malta, Netherlands, Poland, Portugal, Romania, Slovakia, Slovenia, Spain, Sweden. In June 2016, the United Kingdom decided to stop being part of the European Union. So from January 31, 2020, the United Kingdom is no longer part of the European Union. The goals and values of the European Union. All countries that are part of the European Union work together to make sure that there is peace in Europe. People have good lives. Things are fair for all people and nobody is left out. The languages and cultures of all people are respected. There is a strong European economy. And countries use the same coin to do business together. The countries of the European Union share some important values. For example, they work to make sure that all people are equal and their rights are respected. After the European Union was created, there were no more wars between the countries that are part of the European Union. Thanks to the European Union, all countries in Europe work together in peace. In 2012, the European Union won a big award which is called the Nobel Peace Prize. This award was given to the European Union for its good work keeping peace in Europe. The European Union made it easier for people to move freely from one country to another. They can live, study or work in any country of the European Union they want. For example, a person from France can choose to move to Italy and work there. Or a student from Belgium can go study in a university in Greece. Things, services, and money can also move freely from one country of the European Union to another. The European Union in the world. The European Union plays an important role in the world in many ways. For example, it sells many things and services to other countries. Also, it buys things from other countries. This way it helps the world economy keep going. It helps millions of people who live in poorer countries outside the European Union. It tries to make the world a safer place where people are treated fairly and laws are respected. Becoming part of the European Union. To become part of the European Union, a country must agree with all the laws and values of the European Union. Work to make sure these laws and values are respected. This may take a very long time to happen. Some countries are now working to become part of the European Union. These countries are Albania, Bosnia and Herzegovina, Moldova, Montenegro, North Macedonia, Serbia, Turkey, Ukraine. To become part of the European Union, these countries must work to make all laws and values of the European Union happen in them. The European Union made the Schengen area. The Schengen area is an area without borders. In this area, people can travel from country to country freely and easily. They do not have to go through checks and controls when they pass from one country to another. Thanks to the Schengen area, it is now easier for people to travel for work or tourism. The Schengen area was made in 1985. Today 23 out of the 27 countries of the European Union are part of the Schengen area. These countries are Austria, Belgium, Croatia, Czechia, Denmark, Estonia, Finland, France, Germany, Greece, Hungary, Italy, Latvia, Lithuania, Luxembourg, Malta, Netherlands, Poland, Portugal, Slovakia, Slovenia, Spain, Sweden. Also, 4 countries outside the European Union are part of the Schengen area: Iceland, Liechtenstein, Norway, Switzerland. That means that people can travel freely and easily from one of these countries to another. This way it is easier for people to visit any of these countries for tourism or for work. In every country of the European Union, people speak their own language. The European Union protects the right of people to communicate in their own language. That is why the European Union makes all important information and documents in all the languages that people speak in its countries: Bulgarian, Croatian, Czech, Danish, Dutch, English, Estonian, Finnish, French, German, Greek, Hungarian, Irish, Italian, Latvian, Lithuanian, Maltese, Polish, Portuguese, Romanian, Slovak, Slovenian, Spanish, Swedish. This way all people in the European Union can get important information in their own language and understand it. Most countries that are part of the European Union use the same coin. Using the same coin helps countries in the European Union to do business together. For example, people from Spain can buy things they want from Belgium easily and without extra costs. Using the same coin makes it easier for people to travel, buy things online from other countries and have more options. Today, 20 out of 27 European Union countries use the euro. These countries are Austria, Belgium, Croatia, Cyprus, Estonia, Finland, France, Germany, Greece, Ireland, Italy, Latvia, Lithuania, Luxembourg, Malta, Netherlands, Portugal, Slovakia, Slovenia, Spain. The flag of the European Union is blue and has a circle of gold stars on it. It is a symbol that shows that the countries of the European Union are united and stand by each other. Every country has a melody that better shows its values and culture as a country. This melody is called anthem. The European Union has its own anthem too. In 1985, People Who Make Decisions in the European Union chose a melody of a very important composer to be the anthem of the European Union. This composer is called Ludwig van Beethoven. The melody shows how important it is that all people are free, live in peace and stand by each other. The European Union believes in these values, and that is why it has chosen this melody to be its anthem. The European Union uses the phrase united in diversity to show what its values are. Being united in diversity means that people in the European Union may have different cultures or languages, but they stand by each other and work together in peace. There is nothing wrong about having different languages or cultures. On the contrary, people with different cultures can learn more things from each other and work well together. How the European Union works: the European Union has 3 main bodies. The European Commission. The people of the European Commission suggest laws for the European Union. The European Parliament. The people of the European Parliament are elected by all people in Europe to stand for their rights. The Council of the European Union. People who make decisions in every country of the European Union come together and make the Council of the European Union. These 3 bodies are very important for the European Union. They work closely together to make things better in Europe. The European Commission suggests laws. The European Parliament and the Council of the European Union discuss these laws and decide if they want these laws to happen in Europe. If they decide that a law must happen in Europe, all countries of the European Union must work to make this law happen in them. Other bodies that are important for the European Union are the Court of Justice of the European Union, that makes sure that all laws happen correctly in the European Union. The Court of Auditors, that checks if the money of the European Union is spent in the right way. There are also other bodies of the European Union that are doing important work. For example, there are bodies that check if the European Union works in the right way and respects the rights of all people. Publish useful information about the European Union. Choose the people who have the skills to work for the European Union. Stand for the rights of all people in Europe, like people with disabilities, workers, and others. All these bodies work together to make sure that the European Union works in the right way for the good of its people. European Union achievements and tangible benefits. Since 1957, the European Union has achieved great things for its citizens and the world. A continent at peace. Freedom for its citizens to live, study or work anywhere in the EU. The world's biggest single market. Aid and development assistance for millions of people worldwide. Peace and stability. The EU has delivered over half a century of peace, stability, and prosperity. It also plays an important role in diplomacy and works to promote these same benefits, as well as democracy, fundamental freedoms, and the rule of law, across the globe. In 2012, the EU was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize. The EU's common foreign and security policy is designed to resolve conflicts and promote international understanding, based on diplomacy and respect for international rules. The EU's main economic engine is the single market. It enables most goods, services, money, and people to move freely throughout most of the continent. It has certainly become much easier to move around Europe. All EU citizens have the right to study, work or retire in any EU country. As an EU national, for employment, social security and tax purposes, every EU country is required to treat you exactly the same as its own citizens. Euro, used by over 340 million EU citizens, the euro has eliminated the risk of currency fluctuation and exchange costs, and strengthened the single market, to the benefit of us all. Telephone and digital services. You can use your phone and online services at no extra cost across the EU, thanks to the end of roaming rules. The Treaty on the European Union gives EU citizens and legal residents a wide range of rights, enacted in EU law across many fields. The Charter brings together all the personal, civic, political, economic, and social rights enjoyed by people within the EU. Every EU worker enjoys certain minimum rights relating to health and safety at work, equal opportunities, protection against all forms of discrimination, and labor laws. The EU has taken a strong stance to protect individual rights and personal information in its data protection and privacy laws, to ensure we all have more control over our personal data. EU consumers can feel safe in the knowledge that they will get their money back if they return unwanted products, and will receive a refund if they experience any avoidable delays or cancellations while traveling. And the standards goods in EU shops must meet are among the world's most stringent, in terms of both quality and safety. The EU is the largest trade bloc in the world. It is the world's biggest exporter of manufactured goods and services, and the biggest import market for over 100 countries. Free trade among its members was one of the EU's founding principles. This is possible thanks to the single market. Beyond its borders, the EU is also committed to liberalizing world trade. The EU has ensured that you're protected against the downsides of globalization through EU support for small businesses and rules to make sure big companies pay their fair share of tax. The EU can also help if you've been treated unfairly as a business owner. Successful EU programs like Erasmus Plus can help you get training to make the most of your career. The EU has achieved a strong position by acting together with one voice on the global stage, rather than with separate trade strategies. The EU is in prime position when it comes to global trade. The openness of our trade regime has meant that the EU is the biggest player on the global trading scene and remains a reliable partner to do business with. This agreement, signed in 2018, makes it easier for EU firms to export more to Singapore, helps protect people's rights at work and the environment, and opens up Singapore's markets to EU companies for services and government contracts. Because EU countries cooperate so closely, our food and our environment meet some of the world's highest quality standards. Protecting health is the aim of all EU laws and standards in the farming and food sectors. An extensive body of EU-wide law covers the entire food production and processing chain within the EU, as well as imported and exported goods. The EU has developed some of the strictest environmental standards in the world. EU policy seeks to minimize risks to the climate, health, and biodiversity. EU countries acting in unison have much more of a voice on the world stage than 27 nations of varying size acting separately. Taken together, the EU institutions and national governments are the world's leading donor of development assistance and work collectively to promote good governance, fight hunger, and preserve natural resources. Through its political, practical, and economic support, the EU has played a crucial role in building peace in the Western Balkans since the Yugoslav wars. One example is the EU-facilitated dialogue between Serbia and Kosovo, which led to a landmark deal in April 2013 that is currently being implemented, with EU support. The EU has developed human rights policy guidelines covering areas such as the death penalty, torture and freedom of expression, both on and offline. The EU's Instrument for Democracy and Human Rights, EDR, provides support to improve respect for human rights and fundamental freedoms in countries and regions where they are most at risk. The EU provides assistance to countries and populations, both within Europe and abroad, when major disasters or humanitarian emergencies strike. Collectively, the EU and its constituent countries are the world's leading donor of humanitarian aid. Every year the EU provides food, shelter, protection, healthcare, and clean water to over 120 million victims of disasters and conflict in over 80 countries. The EU cooperates with governments in 150 partner countries across the developing world, as well as civil society and international organizations. For example, in Haiti the EU provides a number of different forms of aid and development assistance, to help the country develop resilience, resolve structural weaknesses and bring short-term relief to the most vulnerable. Since 1994, the EU has provided Haiti with €419 million in aid to give access to life-saving health services, distribute emergency shelter in camps and host families, give access to water and sanitation facilities, distribute food, prevent an increase in malnutrition, outbreaks of epidemics and potential civil unrest, reduce vulnerability in camps, set up early warning systems and strengthen shelters and infrastructure against recurring hurricanes, floods, and other natural hazards. Thank you for watching this video for us.